Go. Ready? Okay. Right, this morning's lesson I would like to touch on what we tend to focus on. Now, as you all know, I had an accident a couple of weeks ago and I had time in hospital, but spending time in hospital gives you time alone. And reflecting on a lot of things in my life to date, it's amazing how much we tend to neglect about true life. Things that I did really pick up on, and even though we lecture it over the years and we've felt it and lived it, things like gratitude and true love and peace are three aspects of our lives we tend to talk a lot about, especially in the Western society, but we don't get to connect with it. Gratitude is something that gets bandied around very easily out there. And I want to talk about gratitude because lying now, I've come up with a little theory over the years of my studies, I've come up with a little theory that to put the human psyche in Western society simplistically, we have three areas of focus. Now on the board I've got three areas similar to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if you like, but it's not down that track. Focus of power, focus of greed, and focus of survival. And the reason why I put them this way, because our lives can change in an instant, as mine did 2 weeks ago. It wasn't until something like that, I had the accident, that I got a wake-up call. Now, you know, at my age, 57 years of age, I've had many wake-up calls, many highs and many lows. However, having that time alone to reflect on how fragile life itself really is. It wasn't until after I was released from hospital that I spoke to a friend in Melbourne, and he said how lucky I was with the heavy fall I had, especially at my age, when, you know, we've had in the news in Australia here about the one punch syndrome where, you know, there's been fights in hotels and all that, and one punch and the victim falls and hits his head and he's dead. And until he said that, and the high impact that my head had on the pavement when I had that trip, I didn't really realise just how close and how lucky I really was. Speaking with Des here in Perth yesterday, a friend of his fell in the bathroom. So the reason I put these up is because whether we like it or not, let's talk Australian society because I know that better than others. Most of Western society, in Australia in particular, we focus on greed. Now we don't like to think we do, but we do. Let's face it. If we took away your mortgages, all your houses, all your cars, all your jobs, and you had nothing, you would have to focus on survival. Now if you have a look at the focus of survival, prior to my incident or accident, call it what you like, I was in this category of focusing on greed, having to get the workshops on, having to survive, pay the bills, all the stuff, my holidays, and you know, the mortgage, the car insurance, all that stuff that we've got in our society that we've created. That's where I was stuck at. With the accident, that was the wake-up call. All of a sudden, my life was in others' hands. The staff at the hospital, the ambulance people, the guy that was with me when I fell, my partner Marie, when she arrived. Without their help, and my survival may not have happened. I don't know, because I'm not a medic. However, the paramedics was sensational, the hospital was sensational, and that's where the gratitude comes in. Lying in the hospital, it's all right to knock our society and what's wrong with our societies, but lying in hospital, you really do get a warm feeling of gratitude to know that I could be in an ambulance, in a hospital within 45 minutes of the accident, being treated and back to work within that 1 week. Whereas most of the planet can't even get into a paramedic on site, let alone get in an ambulance. To this day, that the 72 hours or whatever I was in hospital has cost me my annual ambulance fee, which is $80 odd a year to be a member. The rest has all been supplied through our taxes in our system. Now, other countries don't have that, we know all that, I'm not going into that. But that's where gratitude really starts to hit home, what is available to us. Now, once out of survival mode, back into the greed mode. Now, there are people on the planet that are focused on power. By focusing on power, that keeps their greed in place and they don't have to ever go to survival. But a few years ago now, the GFC, Global Financial Crisis, put a lot of these people into survival mode. Once they're in survival mode, that's their wake-up call. And we're so flippant with our gratitude and our love and peace of others. Lying in there, I was thinking about this place here, Moving Forward Australia, that we created together, co-creatively, nearly 11 years ago now. And without you people here and your assistance, there wouldn't be a Moving Forward Australia. And for that, I really thank you guys, and I say it publicly because it's not said often enough. The love that came through Facebook, personal messages, text messages, phone calls, for those who knew about the accident. It's just so humbling to know that people really do care. So, to keep it short, survival mode is where we do fall into. We live, for the most part, in greed. Please stay away from power. And Des, if you can get on tune. So, what the message I'm trying to put across in this quick little talk that we can discuss afterwards is, look at the love that is around you. The whole planet can live on love. We know that. We've had, unfortunately, most of the peacemakers have either been suicided, killed, or whatever over the centuries. But love will always outweigh and bring about peace. Look at John Lennon. He's one of my most famous mentors. With that, I'd just like to close with the last lines of a narration by Sir Laurence Olivier, which basically, the narration's called Time. It's from a play. And the last few words say exactly what I'm trying to transmit here. Thanks, Des.